Okay, is the playing field you're playing on level?
Well, I mean, it's a matter of relativity. You can't have a completely leveled playing field, but of course,
so it's not level.
But of course, as candidates, I mean, as if we find something untoward, something that could tilt the scale, we'll certainly raise our voice.
Is that why you and 4 other candidates met recently?
Well, we have been meeting. That was not the first meeting.
But why would you meet your fellow contenders?
You know, there's a new concept in management referred to as co-opetition, which simply means cooperating with your competitors. It gets to a point when you realize that competitors have a common vision. In this particular instance, we have aspirants who believe in change, who believe that this country must have change, and they all represent change. Why can't all candidates who represent change decide to meet and have some discussions on the change that this country requires?
What is the first priority of change? Is this a change in your party first and then the nation?
Well, it starts with our party. Every change
so the 5 of you have a common vision, the phrase you use, and your vision is, and what brought you together first of all?
I think that what brings
is your desire to change, to bring change to your party.
What brings us together is our understanding that the mass of our people are in the mood for change. What brings us together is our love for our party, in our deep understanding that the party requires to review its modus operandi, in our common understanding that running government business must change the way it's going and the way it has gone in the past. It is our belief that governance requires some level of urgency and that there's a need to inject some level of professionalism into governance. We have some common understanding. It is these commonalities that bring us together. And it is not about coming together to, as we have read in the newspapers, to pick one candidate. No, everyone is contesting in his or her own right.
So if that's the case, why is John Mahama not part of that group?
He doesn't believe in change. He believes in maintaining the status quo. He is the old, and he is the old that wants to re-emerge, and so he cannot be part of a group that believes in change. As simple as that.
But isn't that, you said change, the common denominator in that group is change. You want to change him. So you're coming together to change him.
No, of course.
It's the first element of change you want out.
Well, you need to understand that if I believed that, or if I believe that he represents the future of our party, I wouldn't have put myself up in the first place.
So you confirm then that you guys are meeting because you want John Mahama out?
Well, that meeting is bigger than an individual. I'm sorry.
But it's bigger than him.
It's bigger than an individual.
But he's an element in the conversation.
That conversation there is about the NDC as a political party.
And John Mahama isn't good for the NDC.
And it is bigger than an individual.
I get it. But John Mahama isn't good for the NDC. It's about the NDC. But John Mahama isn't good for the NDC.
Well, I haven't said he's not good for the NDC. But there are better.
Is it good for the NDC?
There are better alternatives for the NDC.
So that's why you're meeting.
And I represent one of the better alternatives for the NDC.
I'm struggling to wrap my head how you can cooperate with 4 of the other contenders.
You will not understand it because you are not part of our meeting. Besides, I'm not here to discuss with you the issues that we have discussed at that meeting. So
no problem.
If you are making that effort to get some information about what we have discussed, I'm sorry, that is not my mission.
Are you meeting? Joining us on the line right now is the spokesperson for the John Dramani Mahama campaign. Joins us on the telephone line right now. Okay, we don't have James Sajid Boateng on the line right now. We'll get him on the line when we do. But let's bring in, let's do some analysis of what we just heard. The senior lecturer with the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, Dr. Ansah Asante, is on the line with us. Hello, Dr. Asante. Hello, Dr. Asante. Hello, Dr. Asante, can you hear me?
Yes, Evans, I can hear you.
Thank you very much. Also joining us on the line right now is a political analyst an editor of the Daily Dispatch newspaper, Mr. Ben Efsey. Mr. Efsey, I'm grateful that you joined us.
Good evening.
Dr. Asante, let me start with you. You just heard there what Sylvester Mensah had said. What's your reaction to it from a political, analytical angle?
Actually, I have not heard from him, but Kwete gave me little information about that. But so I'm well with what he said regarding the ongoing struggle to get a flag bearer for the party.
His point is simple, that 5 of the other aspirants are cooperating, meeting, and they simply want to bring about change in the party. John Dramani Mahama wasn't invited because they don't believe that he represents change. He wants change. He wants to keep the status quo. Do you find it, as a political analyst, curious that 5 aspirants who are vying for the same slot, by the way, will cooperate in this manner?
Oh, it's possible. It's nothing new in politics. You have people who can come together and then decide for a common cause, and that's it. There's nothing new. But as to whether they will be able to achieve what they want, it's another thing. Yes, for me, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's okay. It's good for democracy. But as to whether they will be able to achieve their aim, it's another thing. Yeah.
It's good for democracy. Let's look at it, and we shouldn't forget, this is internal politics. This is a primary. In our body politic in Ghana, isn't this a new phenomenon where the aspirants, before the poll, I think the closest you can get to this is the 2007 Congress of the MPP, where the huge number of aspirants after the vote sort of simply said, Nana Addo should go. But that was after the vote had come in and the results were known. But this is way before the election. There's cooperation.
Yes. It's good for democracy in the sense that you have people who have the right to decide what they want to do without anybody forcing them, right? That's the beauty about democracy. You have your views, I have mine, and at the end of the day, if we can team up and further the cause of the party. Remember that they are not doing this thing for their personal interest, but just for the interest of the party. And that builds the structures of the party solid and make the party formidable. It's good for democracy.
Mr. Efsey, I'll bring you in here, but I want you to listen, Mr. Efsey, if you're on the line with me. I want you to listen briefly to James Ajanim Boateng, who is a spokesperson for the John Dramani Mahama campaign, reacting to this.
The reaction from delegates has been awful. People have been particularly excited. The former president, John Dramani Mahama, on the road and campaigning. They are yearning for his return, and in many, many places they are asking him not to even campaign because they are going to give him 100% from their constituencies. It's been amazing.
No, you see, they don't want a former president to campaign because they'll give him 100%. But we've seen a lot of individuals emerging to contest the former president.
Well, you are very much aware that this is a constitutional democracy. You also do know that the NDC is a democratic party. And so everybody who is interested in contesting the former president has a right to contest.
Is the president not perturbed or shaken by these numbers of individuals contesting him?
Why should he be perturbed? Why should he be shaken? I mean, this is a consummate Democrat. I don't think that there's anybody who believes in democracy perhaps better than John Dramani Mahama.
Mr. Efsey, should John Mahama be worried that these 5 other contenders are cooperating against him? Seem to have lost him on the line. They still listen to Top Story here on Joy 99.7 FM. Who do we have on the line? Do we have Dr. Asante on the line? Hello, Doc.
Yes, I'm online.
Okay. Let me ask you that question I was putting to Mr. Efsey earlier, who we just lost on the line. Should Mr. Mahama be worried that 5 other aspirants are cooperating against him?
No. Why am I saying that? You see, there are considerations for internal party politicking. If you want to select a candidate for the next election, the variables are different, a little different from the national one. All right. He should not be worried at all. Okay, why am I saying that? If you look at, there are a number of factors, but I'll touch on a few of them. All right. For internal politics, you need people who are loyal, who are very loyal. And if you look at all these guys, I can say without fear of contradiction that they are loyal to the NDC. Spio, Bagben, Alabi, Guzi, Sylvester, John himself, they are all. If you look at another consideration, then we are talking about party values and ideology. Recently, we had Tony Edu talking about the fact that the gap between MPP and the NDC in terms of their values are becoming narrower, simply because the NDC has abandoned its main ideology and are pursuing something closer to their opponent and all that. We need people who can, bring this thing on board and then strengthen it. Not only that, but also we also want to look at the contribution of the people who are contesting towards their party. What services have they rendered to the party? All right. Those who were able to get opportunity to serve in government, what's their legacy that they can stand on and campaign the next time they are going for election is one of the considerations. Not only that, but also you look at the relationship of the party, those who are contesting with the rank and file, with the top brass, the rank and file of the party is also critical. One of it that we can also look at is whether the candidate is sellable or not. And sellable, we are talking about what type of candidate we need to match our main opponent in the next election. And having said this, one of the other things that they can also consider is how easy to develop messages with that particular candidate in mind, develop the relevant messages that will be able to scuttle the strategies of their opponent. In political communication, message development is critical. You need somebody, because as we develop message, we look at your strengths, your weakness. What are the things that people can say in the negative against this candidate that will find it difficult to respond? It's one of the major considerations. And if you look at all of them, you realize that if you look at these variables, you can use it to measure how each one will fare during elections. This is internal. And we also have to look at the national one when we are going for the national election 2020. You look at issues such as manifesto, messages, and then the issue about political communication. The track record of the party is so critical. What is it that the party has done over the years or within a short time that they were in office, which you want to sell or tell Ghanaians or remind Ghanaians about is critical. Apart from that, other consideration.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sasanti. Ben F. Singh is with me on the line. Mr. F. Singh, you had recommended before we had these details from Sly Mensa that the other contenders, they are only saving grace is in cooperating somehow. They seem to be doing that, at least 5 of them. But the way they are doing it is, and as we've just heard there, that let's meet. We want to bring about change. John Mahama can be part of that because he doesn't want it. Should Mahama be worried about that? Hello, Mr. Epson, can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I don't know whether you had the question.
You said that should Mahama be worried about...
Should he be concerned about the cooperation that these 5 aspirants are putting together against him?
I don't think so. I think that basically to underline his strength, one of the reasons I made this suggestion in May was that if many people who will be voting for the 5 or 6 people contesting against John, the bottom line is that they don't like John Mahama. So it is likely when they gang up together, they may decide. The problem within the gang of 5 now is who they will have to accept, that who will be number 1 in case they win and who will be the running mate. Once they do that, already Alabi, I don't think is among the 5, because at that time that suggestion was made, he has said that he can win it on his own steam. So if the 5 come together, it's going to be interesting. At what point in time would they take that decision? Because as we speak now, I know Sly has come from Upper East region, Guzi is in the Volta region. So the timeliness of it will let them determine. Then let's look to December 7th. Let the 5 of us go and campaign. A is the candidate, B is the running mate. Unless they do that, what they want to achieve, Evans, may not be possible.
Let's bring in James Ajanim Boateng, who speaks for the John Mahama campaign. Mr. Ajanim Boateng, thank you very much for your time here on Top Story.
Thanks, Evans. Good evening to Mr. Efsing and your listeners.
So we heard details from one of your other, contenders, like Mensa, that 5 of them, the other contenders, are meeting, cooperating to bring about change, and that your candidate, John Mahama, wasn't invited because he doesn't believe in change and he simply wants to maintain the status quo, and so they are cooperating to bring about that change. How is your campaigning taking this? That 5 are working against you?
Well, I think it only speaks to the fact that we have a very solid, credible, and formidable candidate in John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Mahama himself has been speaking to delegates and urging them to listen to as many candidates who come to them with their messages, be open-minded, and at the end of the day, vote for a candidate of their choice. But he goes on and makes the point that they know him, they know his track record, they know what he can do, they know what he's done before, and he's asking them to vote for him. So a man who goes on, and this is the message he's delivered, I think, literally to every constituency he's been to, that the other people in the race, listen to them, be warm to them, be receptive to them when they come. Listen to everybody's message and make up your mind after that. It tells you that Mr. Mahama himself, is a consummate Democrat. He believes that people, have a right to contest him if they so wish. I'm happy to hear that you say 5 people are teaming up or is it ganging up. It's only a testimony, again, that Mr. Mahama is a very solid, credible candidate. And we see signs of that on the ground when people receive him, the warmth with which they receive him. And let me just give you a feel of what is happening here right now.
I can hear
Mr. Mahama. This is Mr. Mahama leaving the Agapios Palace right now. It's almost like a main campaign rally, but he's been planning this to do this in small mini town hall meetings. But everywhere he goes, it's been massive. So it's fine. I don't think that there's any big deal about that. Mr. Mahama is conducting a very clean and decent campaign because he knows that when he's crossed the line, he's going to need the other candidates. He wants to bring everybody on board.
But they say there's power in unity. If he was dealing with the other aspirants individually, they'll split their votes. You can carry the day. But when they join 5 of them, and the kind of individuals you're talking about, people who carry some weight in the party, some will look at that analysis and say they can take away in that unity some significant votes from it.
Mr. Mahama is not perturbed by that. I've told you that he's running a very focused, clean, decent campaign. In fact, he is the man who's going around telling people that I'm not the only guy in this race. There are others. When they come, listen to them. Evans, today is October 12th. I think that when we've gone to the elections and back, we can have this discussion and see what the numbers look like. But I am confident, and delegates are very confident in Mr. Mahama that he's going to carry the day and carry it massively. Because what the delegates themselves have also been saying is that it's about time they gave Mr. Mahama their vote, because showing strong voting pattern in favor of Mr. Mahama is a sign that he can unify the party. And again, that's also the message Mr. Mahama has been preaching, one of unity. And delegates have made the decision to give Mr. Mahama an overwhelming vote, just so that he's able to bring the others on board. And as I've told you, Mr. Mahama himself is very open-minded about getting the rest of the candidates on board, which again speaks to why he's conducting the campaign in the manner that he is. What's happening itself is good for our great party. It's energizing our base. I don't think that our party has been this great in recent times. So it's Mr. Mahama and the others, all of them going around, really, really energizing our base.
I'm grateful that you joined us. James Ajanim Boateng speaks for the Mahama campaign. I still have Mr. Efsing on the line. Mr. Efsing, so if these five to make any inroads. As we just heard that John Mahama's campaign, they aren't perturbed. In fact, they are spinning it as a positive. If he goes round, he can use that and say the five feel threatened by him, and that's why they are cooperating against him. It makes his case stronger in the face of when he meets the delegates. How can the five? What can the five do to make a case that will succeed against John Mahama? You're live here on Top Story on Joy 99.7 FM, and Top Story is always brought to you by Bond, also brought to you by Vodafone, Gasem Cement, and Nationwide. We just lost Ben Efsing on the line there, challenges with that particular line. You want to join us on Ghana Connect in a few minutes as we begin to interrogate whether or not we have a proper music industry. In the wake of that feud that has ensued this week, it all started because one musician accused the other person of being poor, but wasn't he speaking an obvious truth?